here are some of my tips that I want to give you before we're going to do a whole portal walkthrough. But I want to just give some general tips to you before we jump in. So if you do choose to submit an application, if you're a first-time user, please sign up with a direct email address, not a general info at or grants at email. We pride ourselves on putting forth a lot of diverse grant opportunities that might apply to different people at your organization. And we are a person-focused funder. And so we definitely want to make sure we know who we're speaking to if we have a question or something. So please use a personal direct email. If you are a new user, even if your organization has submitted an application to our grants portal before, and if you're not sure, just send us an email, we can check. You must set up your profile before applying. We have quite a few members that have similar names. I think we have a Heart and Hammer and a Hammer and Heart and multiple different service projects. And so we have some rules in place just to make sure that we don't get any hairs crossed. So anyone can log in and create an account, but I'll show you, if you are a first-time user, how to submit that organization update request, and we can make sure you get assigned to the best organization, the correct organization. In order to access any of our funding program details on the grants portal directly, you will need to be logged in. That is not the case for our general website. Our coalitionforhomerepair.com is different than our grants portal. The coalitionforhomerepair.com is always where we publish expanded funding program details. So if you saw our website and you have already read about this program, then you've already been to our general website. This is more going to be how do we work with the grants portal. You may have an up to 24-hour delay on receiving a confirmation email. Like I said, we're building it, we're working on it. So if you do not get a confirmation email right away, do not be alarmed. If you want to send our team an email just to check in and make sure we received it, then you are more than welcome to do that in the meantime. One thing we'll note, but we will look at it, is that the login for an existing user, so if you've already used the portal before, you're going to use a different login button than a new user. We'll look at both of them. And then common issues, if you ever get an error pop up on the screen, the two most common reasons for that are there's some sort of duplicate. So that might mean that your organization, somebody from your organization already has applied and there's an existing account with your EIN on it. That's not a big problem. We just need to make sure your username gets matched on the back end so we know exactly who you are and where you belong. And then if it's upon sign in, if you get a duplicate with your username, it means that you have probably used our grants portal before. I have used probably 30 or 50 grants portals in a year before. I know it's hard to keep track of where you've been, but those are the two most common issues that we'll see. And as I said, our portal is very much often changing. Thank you for your patience. Never be afraid to contact our staff with portal specific questions at any point in the grant application process. All right, I think we're ready to do a walkthrough. I can share my screen, Megan.
Okay, doke.
Full screen. Okay. Nope. Okay, so you should be seeing our grants portal. Awesome. We will make sure you have the link. The link to access this is always available on our general coalitionforhomerepair.org website. Any grant opportunity that we're going to publish, we're going to include this link. So don't feel like you need to save it. We'll always put it out there for you. So this is what it looks like if you are logged in to the portal. This is my test account. So it's sort of funny sometimes. But when I'll log out at the end and show, if you do click the self-register button, it's going to ask you a couple expanded questions. It's going to ask you to create a password, and you'll be able to submit that. And you can access those links. Where was I? Always, if you go to how to apply, It's going to literally take you 1, 2, 3. So if you're a new user, use that direct sign in. Or sorry, if you're a returning user, you can always use that sign in to get to your existing account. If you're a new user, go ahead and click sign up. Once you are signed in, when you click this funding programs page, it will show you all of our open opportunities. Right now, we only have the one. So you can click it. It'll give you a great little description right there, including a staff contact. And then you can click apply. And we're just going to walk through this application directly today. It's going to take us no time at all. So once you are connected to your organization's existing account or create a new one, your EIN should sort of always populate for you. If your EIN doesn't populate, but you get an error, contact us on staff. It just means we need to get you connected to the existing information. This is a pretty quick application. We're only asking to share about how your organization currently serves older adults. We do want to know about the counties that you currently serve. If you are a statewide organization, maybe just put statewide in there. You don't have to list every single county, but do specify that for us. You know, are you CAP certified? We're going to ask applicant ethnicity, gender, and we're going to ask how participating in this cohort would help you and your organization serve older adults better. And then we also want to know about the greatest challenges facing your Aging in Place program. So this is a pretty brief application. I imagine most people will fill it out in one go. However, if you, testing, I was trying to think and type at the same time. So we could go ahead and fill out your response, but maybe you had something come up and you were not able to finish it. Go ahead and hit the save button. The save button is sort of always going to take you to a review page where you can review answers. You can see the ones we didn't fill out are still blank. But if you're on that page and you say, I really just want to come back to this later, you can go ahead and hit the pause button, X out of that, and just say, lunchtime. So where did your application go? If you ever need to visit a submitted or in draft application, go to the application hub, My Applications, and you can resume and pick up right where you left off. So you could say no. All your answers. You can go up next to review, and we should see all of those responses populated. Yep, that looks good. That looks like what we said. So click the submit button. I know it's a little confusing with this next button down here. We're working on it, but just hit the orange submit application button. And that is going to go ahead and redirect you. So now you no longer see that draft up here. You see it down here, which this funding request section, this is going to show every single funding request that a contact at your organization has ever submitted. So we do have some broader permissions set up here. This is more just for your record, but the drafts is really what you're going to want. You can also delete a draft. Sometimes you're like me and you open an application just to see what the questions are, which we do have a PDF provided on our blog post. But if you ever see something in here, you can delete your old ones. That just helps us keep our records clean on the back end. So once you've submitted, like I said, you might see 24 hours before you get that confirmation email. For those first-time users, you've signed in. You're going to want to go here to My Organization. Click Request an Update. Might take a second, but go ahead and you can type in your name, a little update. So you could say like, I'm a new user. It's not gonna let me submit all of that there, but go ahead and submit the request. What that does is it sends me a message on the back end and it says, hey, somebody wants to be connected to this organization. And I'm just gonna do a brief little check-in. make sure before I grant you access to all your organization's past grant applications that you are who you say you are. And then I'm going to approve your application and you can be on your way and you never have to do it again.